Okay boys, so we're going to go to example 3 now. So we have 7x minus 2y equals 1 and 4x minus 2y equals 4. So we're looking for the number to be the same in front of the letters. It's not the same here, we have a 7 and a 4, but it is the same here, we have a 2 and a 2. Don't worry about the signs. Put a box around those two terms, including their sign. And now we have to work out whether we need to add these two things together to get rid of it or to minus them. So if you've got minus 2y and minus 2y, you can't add them together because you'll get minus 4y and you're trying to eliminate them. So we're going to subtract them. So if we put a minus sign here, minus 2y minus 2y, that double negative is a positive. So it's like reading minus 2y plus 2y, which gives you nothing. So we want a minus between all of these things. 7x minus 4x gives you 3x. Minus 2y minus 2y is minus 2y plus 2y. That gives you nothing. Don't write anything there. 1 minus 4 gives you minus 3. Then when we continue to solve it, we get x equals minus 1. We're going to take that answer and put it into whichever equation you like. Take your pick. I've chosen number 1. No reason, just pick that one. Copy the equation down and put the x value of minus 1 in place of x. In this next line, we get minus 7 minus 2y equals 1. Now you can leave the minus 2y where it is if you want and take the numbers to the right hand side. I've chosen to do it the other way just because I'm trying to make that term positive because I won't have to divide by a negative later. So I'm moving the y's over here and I'm taking my numbers all over to this side. So we end up with y equals minus 4. So our final answer for that question is x equals minus 1, y equals minus 4. So these questions can get a little bit harder when you don't have a number in front of the letters being the same. So I'm going to go straight to the example and explain how it works. So we're solving simultaneously these two equations. When we look at the q's, the number in front is not the same. When we look at the w's, the number in front is not the same. So what we're going to do is pick one of those, whether you want to deal with the Q or the W. Sometimes the numbers will be lower with one of the letters and you'll pick the lower numbers if you can. In this case, it's not much difference. I've chosen these ones, so I'm going to work on the Q's. So just go around the terms with the red box. We look at the 3 and the 2, and we've got to work out a number that 3 and 2 both go into. We know they both go into 6, so we're going to make that number in front of both of them a 6. So if you have a look at the first one, to go from 3q to 6q, you've had to multiply by 2. So we're going to multiply the whole of equation 1 by 2, every term. So 3q times 2 is 6q, minus 2w times 2 is minus 4w, and 11 times 2 is 22. For the second equation, to get the 6 down there, we think, what have we done to this 2q to get a 6q? We've multiplied that by 3. So we're going to multiply the whole of equation 2 by 3. 2q times 3 is 6q. Minus 5w times 3 is minus 15w. And 22 times 3 is 66. Once we've got those numbers in front of the letters the same, we can continue like we were before. So still put the red box around there. Think, how am I going to eliminate the q's? Do I need to add them or subtract them? 6q minus 6q will give you nothing and eliminate them, so that's what we're going to do. Minus right through all your terms. 6q minus 6q is nothing. Minus 4w minus 15w. Again, you've got that double negative when you read it. That changes to a plus. So it actually says minus 4w plus 15w. That gives you positive 11w. 22 minus 66 is minus 44. Then continue and solve it till the end. So we've got w equals minus 4. Same thing. Choose which equation you want to go into. In this one, we could go into any of these 4 equations. They're all okay to go into. But it'd be silly going into these because we've made those numbers bigger. So we're not going to go subbing into those. We're going to go into the ones with the smaller numbers. So you can pick 1 or 2, doesn't matter. I've decided to put it into number 1. So I'm going to sub W equals minus 4 into equation 1. There's equation 1 copied down. Put your W equals minus 4 in. Keep going through and solve your equation to get Q equals 1. So we put the 2 answers together. We've got W equals minus 4, Q equals 1. Doesn't really matter what order you write them in. I did say before with the X and Y, put the X first. There's a reason for that because later on, when we do the X and the Y, they will actually be the X and Y coordinates of a point, and we will need to have them in that order. If it's not an X and a Y, it doesn't matter which way around they get written. Okay, in the next question, we're looking at trying to find a number the same. They're not the same. Try and find a number the same with the F's. They're not the same. So pick either the A's or the F's and concentrate on that. This time I've chosen, I don't think it's any easier, it's probably harder, but I decided just to pick this to show you what happens. So I'm going to concentrate on the F terms, put a red box around it. Again, we happen to have the same numbers here, which I didn't mean to happen, but anyway. The 2 and the 3 both go into 6, so we're going to make both of these numbers here 6F. So what have we had to do to the 2 to get that 6? We've had to multiply by 3. We're going to multiply by 3 right through that equation. So we're multiplying equation 1 by 3. And let's go. 5a times 3 is 15a. Plus 6f times 3 is positive 6f. And minus 14 times 3 is minus 42. In equation 2, what do we have to do to minus 3f to get minus 6f? We have to multiply by 2. So we're going to multiply by 2 right through the equation. 2a times 2, 4a. Minus 3f times 2, minus 6f. 2 times 2, 4. Then when they're all organised and then we have a number the same in front of the letters, put the box around there. Think what we have to do to the plus 6f and the minus 6f to get them eliminated. Do we need to add them? Do we need to subtract them? In this case, we can add them. So we're going to add right through all the equation terms and have a look. 15a plus 4a, 19a. Plus 6f minus 6f, or if you like, plus 6f plus minus 6f, gives you nothing. Minus 42 plus 4 gives you minus 38. Finish off solving the equation and you've got a equals minus 2. Again, this can be subbed into any of these 4 equations, but we're not going to go into the big numbers. So we're putting it into one of these. I've chosen to put it into number 2. So we're going to sub a equals minus 2 into equation 2. Copy equation 2 down and sub in the minus 2 for the a. Keep going and solve it. Remember, I'm just moving the minus 3f over to the other side to make it a positive term with an f in it, so I don't divide by negative later. Numbers will come here, and we have minus 6 equals 3f. Continue to solve it, and f equals minus 2. Here's your 2 answers. Put them together, and that's your solution. Simultaneous equations do need a lot of working. If you go wrong in one part, it can ruin it later on. We will only penalise you 1 mark for each error that you make and just continue through with your errors if we're marking this in an exam. However, it will make your life a lot difficult if you do make an error because you'll probably, instead of ending up with nice whole numbers or halves or something, you might end up with something pretty horrible, big mixed numerals or improper fractions to deal with, which is just going to create extra problems for you later. So slow down, show all the working, and hopefully we can get through this all right. This topic is really important in year 11 and 12. You do need to know this really well. And also it does have a lot of applications in the outside world. So anybody who's going to be doing economics or commerce or business at uni does need to know this. When we do things like demand and supply graphs, we have 2 graphs together and we're looking for a point of intersection. And that's what this is all about. I will go through the applications to it after we've learnt the theory, but I'll go into that later on. So good luck with your homework and see how you go.